Hi, my name is Melissa Gonzalez, and today I'm going to introduce you my evidence tree from contemporary world. Well, we're going to start with some important events from the crisis of the socialist bloc to nowadays. Well, the crisis of the socialist bloc was a very hard struggle from 1985 to 1989. It was practically the Soviet Union being under pressure for the democratic implementation of reforms. Then, on 1990, Iraqi troops invade Kuwait, leading to the Persian Gulf War. In 1998, on August 20, the US launches a missile attack in Sudan and Afghanistan, which follows terrorist attacks on the US. Also, embassies in Kenya and Tanzania. In 2001, on January 20, George W. Bush is installed as the 43rd president of the US, which was a very controversial president, but yet made some implementations on the United States that now remain to nowadays. And also one of the most terrible and remarkable incidents of terrorist attacks, which was the demolition of the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in the United States. In 2003, on February 1st, the Space Shuttle Columbia explodes upon a re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere. This was an event that killed 7 astronauts that were on board. On 2004, Facebook is founded by Mark Zuckerberg, which is very important nowadays because we all use Facebook. In 2005, the Hurricane Katrina makes catastrophic damage on Mississippi and Louisiana, and over 80% of New Orleans is flooded. In 2017, there was one of the most deadly shootings in the United States, and it was remembered as the Virginia Tech Massacre. In 2018, Barack Obama becomes the first president of the United States, which is remembered as one of the best presidents of that country. In 2020, the largest spill of oil in the US occurred in the Gulf of Mexico. And on 2017, Donald Trump becomes the 45th president of the USA. And well, as you know, this guy has only brought us problems, yet so far, solutions are remaining on the go, but yeah. In 2018, Vladimir Putin is re-elected as the president of Russia for the 4th time. Russia has been under this president for a long time, as you know. And in 2020, as we know, the COVID-19 has spread worldwide, which has caused economic loss, social destruction, and around 1.43 million deaths around the world. Well, now I'm going to explain you globalization. Globalization means the speed up of movements and exchanges of goods, services, capital, technologies, or cultural practices around the world. This promotes and increases the interactions between the different countries and regions around the globe. An example of the globalization is on COVID-19, for example. This event has led to very far trading around the world for medicines, supplies, help, etc. Terrorism. The term terrorism means violence and threats to intimidate for political, social, or religious, or even cultural purposes of governing or resisting of government. An example of this would be the terrorist attack of the Twin Towers on 2001, which was a very devastating event that claimed a lot of deaths. The term unipolar world means political, economical, cultural, and social vectors that are defined by an influential state in the world. This means that the civilization leads to the highest level, leaving others far behind it, and it gets all the rest of the influence of the world. An example of this would be the crisis of the socialist bloc, because soon after that, the unipolarity was instituted and the democracy was, well, fully emerged around the world. Well, not fully, but it was more commonly, and that's why I placed this image, because it's like the one that extends among most of the world. Then the digital era, it is characterized by the development and existence of technology, which just increases our knowledge in it, and it becomes an adaptation to our daily life in economy, society, etc. An example of this, it's well, the clear inversion of Mark Zuckerberg, because Facebook is nowadays one of the most social media apps and webs that we visit the most. Okay, now the question, why did the globalization emerge? Well, this emerged because the technology and the trading market began to improve around the world, and it was in a very accelerated level. Also, some other reasons was that companies grow. The global media on internet also grow. The capital mobility and the global labor mobility also, well, improved and growth, which led to, well, globalization to keep on going. What has caused the terrorist attacks in the 20th century? Well, most of it has to go with religious, political, and socioeconomic disagreements. These are particular historical moments because of the ongoing disputes between the different communities that exist. For example, Palestinian, when the Palestinian terrorists hijacked the British airplanes to create the state of Israel. This was, well, a dispute for territory. How does the end of the Cold War relate with the unipolar world? Well, multipolarity and bipolarity were not working during the Cold War. They were very extreme. For example, multipolarity was seen as a collapse by the Soviets, and by the Americans was just declined, and bipolarity was always like on dangerous global overtones. Therefore, when the Marshall Plan arrived, once the Soviet Union and the Communist bloc was dissolved, the unipolarity arrived, and it thus began with like the implementation of democracy. How has the digital era influenced today's society? Well, in a lot of ways, the digital era is still part of us, and technology is all around us. To explain the digital era is that it's a period of time in which the Industrial Revolution brought computerization from the industrialization. As you know, it impacts on our society and our social, cultural, political, and economical level. For example, we are able to communicate through phones, like, well, texting, sending an email, phone calls, having internet. Also, we are able to manage and save important documents and information that we need on these devices without having to write everything, etc., like with computers, cell phones, iPads, etc. And also, while just implementing it to our normal routines, like getting out and driving on the car or grabbing something from the refrigerator, and that's also been part of the digital era influence. And that is it for today. I hope you like it, and well, thanks for listening to me, and that's it.